Alright, hi guys, welcome back to Handlettering Basics. Today we're going to cover B, C, and D because they're pretty similar in the approach. So with B, again, you're going to do the same thing as since you're going to lead into it, that's a thin stroke because you're going up, and then make sure you give a little pressure when you come down. Again, thin and thick, okay? And that's really just all you have to think about when you're doing your letters is where does the pressure come in? Okay, and then when you're doing capital B's, there's a few different ways you can do a capital B. You can lead in with a little flourish. You can end with a little loop-de-loop. I mean, there are so many different ways to do it. You could just kind of leave it like that. You can do it without the hook at the beginning. We could get really fancy and do something like that. So lots of different ways to do a B, and then C's are pretty simple. Kind of like what we talked about in the first video. And then you could lead in with a little curly Q. That's a little crooked, sorry. Or you could do one of these jobbies. Lots of different ways to do a C. Actually, not as many. Just kidding. And then D is going to be very similar to the B, except what you're going to start with is, you're kind of making a C, and then you're going to just continue on. And when I'm doing two-part letters, I always pick up my pen and then continue on. So another way to do a D is you could come over and go around like that. There's a few different ways to do D's. You could just do that. So capital D is kind of similar to a B again. You can have that little lead in, or you could do it without the lead in, or you could even do like the other fancy B and do it like that. Okay, so B, C, and D are pretty simple. Go ahead and take, a page with each one and just practice your pressure points just to make sure that you get them right so that you are able to make it the faux calligraphy. And again, if you can't, like if you're using a pencil, just go ahead and draw your letter how you would normally and use your guides, and then come back in and just make the sides a little bit thicker on the downstrokes, and then you can fill them in. Okay, and then if you had just a regular black pen, you do the same thing. Now, as you get better and as you practice more, you're going to end up with your own style. Okay, so the way that you form your B isn't going to look exactly like how I form my B. It's going to be different, and that's good. So practice and practice and practice, and then you'll just kind of come up with your own style. And I change my style up from time to time, and it really just depends on what I'm working on as to what style I'm going to go with. So with C, it's kind of the same thing. C is pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to do with the C. And you could always leave it open too, or you could draw little designs in there. There's just lots of ways to personalize it and make it however you want. So hopefully C, B, and D, or B, C, and D, oh man, are helpful to you. And if you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to ask. I'll just sit here and write a bunch of letters for a couple more seconds. Have a good day, guys.